So today I'd like to talk about anchors. Some yoga teachers refer this to as bandhas, and that's effective when we're talking about our feet and our hands and our core. But really, anchors, like in the rock climbing world, are really just redundant points that keep us safe. So in rock climbing, you put in anchors in various points along your route so that if one fails, you still got a backup plan to keep you from, falling to the ground. So what are anchors in our yoga postures? In this case, when we're going to do a seated forward fold, it's going to be your heels. You pull your toes towards your shins, towards your body, so that you've got two anchors of your feet, and we've got our two anchors of our sitting bones. If you let your feet go and they're just relaxed legs, and then as you're folding over your legs, you lost two anchor points, and there's a very good risk that your lower back is going to get strained. So flexing your feet, not so fiercely that your quads and your legs are just gripping, but just enough that you feel those points into the ground. And then when you sit up nice and tall, you've got basically 4 points that are going to protect your lower spine as you're rolling over into your forward fold. Now when you get there, if you're going to hang out for a little while, you can let those anchors relax and just fold in, sort of a yin style passive stretch. You want to do that also when you're doing any kind of a forward fold, honestly. If in a wide-legged straddle, flex those feet. You can keep the knees a little bit soft. That way when you're tipping your hips forward and you're starting to walk forward, you've got that protection of your lower back, that it's not going to relax and you're just going to fall into the pose. And then one of the critical areas where really anchors are so important are twists, honestly. So let's say Janu Sirsasana. That's when you take one of your feet into your inner thigh. The anchor point of your heel again. And then now we've got the anchor point of our sitting bones. So where things go awry, I see as a teacher, is people start to turn into that twist. They lift that hip off the ground and then they're looking over. And so you've lost one of your anchor points, and then that's going to maybe take your spine and rotate it in a position that it's not really designed to rotate, or just kind of overdo it. So anchor down that opposing hip and then use your opposing hand from that hip. So in this case, my left hip is down. I'm going to take my right hand down. Instead of leaning on that right hand, I'm going to push it down as an anchor so that my spine is vertical. And then it's literally just rotating in a vertical shape. And that's going to protect that lower back from overdoing it and maybe creating a little bit of an injury. And then finally, for the sake of this video, the last place I really want to talk about anchors is in a lunge position. So in a low crescent lunge, you often see teachers cue, or even you maybe in your own practice, you untuck your toes so that back leg, the shin is flat on the ground, your front knee is right above your ankle, and then the arms up, or whatever the teacher is asking you to do. And that's fine, that's totally legit, but where I find a little more stability in the pose is tucking the toes. I get another anchor, and then I feel my knee firmly planting, but I don't feel that pressure in the knee when the foot is untucked. And that's particularly helpful if you're going to do any movement here with your arms in this position, and real particular of a revolve. And here we got an anchor of our elbow now up against our thigh. So when you're pressing and taking into that rotation, you've got all these points that's going to protect your lower back in this movement. And where I really want to encourage you is also just moving slowly. So when you're in those twists, you take your time moving in so you can constantly gauge the intensity of that twist. I really hope that helps. Think about that next time you're practicing yoga, and by all means, have a fantastic day.